Rhombi, plural for rhombus. Okay, so it's a parallelogram, okay, but it's not a rectangle. So those extra two deals that we learned yesterday, our diagonals were congruent. And what was our other one? 4 90-degree angles. Don't account for a rhombus, okay? So get those two out of your head, okay? But today we have 4 equal sides, because that's actually what the definition of a rhombus is. It's just a quadrilateral with 4 equal sides. Okay, now the diagonals are perpendicular. What's that mean? What's perpendicular mean? Huh? Well, that's just intersecting. Come on, guys, you know this. If you don't know what perpendicular means, we're in really big trouble. Because this is something you've known for years. That's just intersecting. No, that's bisecting each other. Yeah. Yeah, they intersect to form 90-degree angles. Okay, so if they're perpendicular, it means that all 4 of these angles in here are 90 degrees. And it's very scary that one person in this room knew that. Okay, that's something that we've been talking about all year long now. Okay, and now the diagonals bisect the opposite angles. So that was not true in a parallelogram. It was not true in a rectangle, contrary to popular belief. Okay, in a rhombus it is. So this angle is going to be congruent to this angle, this to this guy, this to this guy, and this to this guy. Not all of them are congruent, okay, but they bisect each other, or it bisects those angles. Okay, so J is 12, Jn is 7. What's Jan? 12. 12, why? The 4 equal sides. Yep, because all 4 sides are going to be congruent. What's JL going to be? 14. 14, why? Diagonals bisect. Well, it says that we're not talking about angles, though. I don't know after that diagonals are. Well, but we're not talking about 90-degree angles. Oh. Oh, it doesn't have anything to do with angles. Consecutive angles are supplementary. No, it doesn't have anything to do with angles, you guys. Stop saying anything about angles. Diagonals bisect each other. Okay, because it still has those 5 properties of parallelograms. Okay, the diagonals bisect each other. Okay, so that's 7, that's 7. How am I going to find Mn? Right there. Where is my 90-degree angle? N. Right here. Okay, so if I'm finding Mn, how am I going to go about doing this? Which is? 49. So 49 plus x squared equals 144. So x squared equals 95. So square root of that, what do we get? 9.7. So and then it's going to be 9.7 because that's what we just found. So that was MK. 19.4. 19.4. Why? Diagonals bisect each other. Yep. Okay. Remember, all these properties are listed at the top of your page. You can read them. So EF is 23. DF, this whole guy, is 40. So what's GF? 23. Why? All sides are equal. HF is wide. Diagonals bisect each other. How are we going to find GH? Why can I use Pythagorean theorem? Because the diagonals are, what's that big word that we've been talking about, perpendicular, that I was mad that you did? Yep, so you start using that in your vocabulary now so that you remember it. Okay, so yep, Pythagorean theorem. How am I setting this up? 20 squared. So which is 400 plus x squared equals 529. 529? Yeah. So x squared is 129. And GH is 11.4, which makes GE 22.8. Why? Diagonals bisect each other. Okay, angles can't bisect each other. Okay, diagonals can. Okay, RT is 22. US is 18. So what's VT? Why? Diagonals bisect each other. What's UV? 9. Why? Diagonals bisect. Thank you. So we've got 11, we've got 9, we've got 11, we've got 9. So RS, how am I going to find RS? Why can I use Pythagorean theorem? Because diagonals are perpendicular. Perpendicular. So how am I setting this up? 81 plus 121 equals x squared. So 2 equals x squared. So RS is 14.2. Is that right? Okay, so what's that big ST? Why? 4 equal sides. Alright, now, because we have these little angle symbols, now we can talk about angles. Okay, so, what angle do you want to start with? Let's start with angle 8. Okay, let's start with 8. What's 8? 90. Why? Perpendicular. Because diagonals are perpendicular. What do you want to go to now? 4 is what? What? Why? Alternate interior. Now what? What was property number 3 that we wrote down today? Diagonals bisect opposite angles. So if 38 is right here, what does 3 have to be? 38. Because diagonals bisect each other. Or bisect the angles. Yep, so 5 would have to be 38 as well. So that's 38, that's 38, that's 38, that's 38. What's this whole angle? 76. Okay. What's this whole angle gotta be? 70. No. 38. 104. Why? What am I doing? You're right. It's written at the top of your paper. Thank you. Consecutive angles are supplementary. So if this is 76, that's got to be 104. So both 1 and 2 have to be 52 because diagonals bisect the angles. So 7 and 6 have to be 52. Struggling. So what's WZ? 34. Why? 4 equals 1. Alright. 34. 4 equals that. I like it. VY. Why? Diagonals bisect. That's 19. That's 19. ZV. Yeah. Pythagorean theorem, why? Because diagonals are perpendicular. So 361 plus equals 1156. So x squared is 795. Square root that guy, what do we get? 28 point what? 28.2. So then ZX has to be close. 56.4. There you go. Why? Diagonal bisect each other. Good. Alright, so now let's talk some angles. We've got 34 up here. So WXZ has to be why? Diagonals bisect the angles. So WVZ 90 why? What is perpendicular? No, well, yes, but why? Diagonals are perpendicular. There you go. So ZYW. ZYW. This guy now. Okay, what's this whole angle? No, the whole angle. 68. So this whole angle has to be 112. Why? There we go. Consecutive angles are supplementary. So both of those guys have to be 56 because diagonals bisect the angles. X, Y, W. X, Y, W, same thing, right? Because diagonals bisect the angles. Woo! Alright, squares. Okay, so if we look at this, alright, so we've got quadrilaterals up here. I'm actually gonna write it on there since I'm recording. Alright, so I've got quadrilaterals, right? What was a type of quadrilateral that we learned? Well, the first kind. Parallelogram. Okay. What was the first kind of parallelogram that we learned? A rectangle. Okay, was a rectangle a parallelogram? Yes. Okay, a rectangle is a parallelogram. Okay, then what did we just learn today? Rhombus. Rhombus. Was a rhombus a parallelogram? Yes. Was it a rectangle? No. No. Okay, so rhombus would go over here. Okay, a square is all of these. Oh, okay. Okay, so all the properties that we have learned between parallelograms, rectangles, and rhombuses, or rhombi, okay, are all going to be included in a square. Thursday and Friday, we're going to learn about trapezoids, which aren't even parallelograms. They're just a special kind of a quadrilateral. Okay? But that brings us back to our square. Hold on, I'm trying. Yep. You want your quadrilateral high Right? So, okay, my properties of squares are all of my properties of parallelogram. So those 5 that we've studied, my 2 that I added with my rectangle, my 4 right angles, and my diagonals being congruent, and the 3 that we added to our rhombus. 4 congruent sides, diagonals are perpendicular, diagonals bisect opposite angles. So, we've got a square. AD is 11. That's all we need to know a whole bunch of information. What's BC? Why? 4 congruent sides or opposite sides are congruent, either one. AC, how can we find AC? Why can we use Pythagorean theorem? Because we know we have 4 right angles, right? So if that's 11 and that's 11, I can now find my diagonal. How? Oh, look. Diagonal bisect. No, I have it. No. You were on the right track the first time. I have a right triangle because I have 4 right angles. This is 11. This is 11. What are we doing? Pythagorean theorem. So what am I doing? 11 squared. Which is 121 plus 121 equals x squared. X squared. So 242. 42 equals x squared. So x is 15.6. 15.6. Okay, so if AC is 15.6, what does BD have to be? 15.6. Why? Diagonals are congruent. Thank you. EC has to be 7.8. Why? Diagonals bisect each other. All right. DAB. Yeah. 90. Why? All the angles, I've got 4 right angles. AEB. 90. Why? Well, no. 4 right angles are the ones on the outside. The diagonals are perpendicular. CBD. 45. How did you get from 90 to 45? Diagonals bisect the angles. Yep. 45. So BAC has to be 45. Right? So TR is 17. Now we can find everything. What's TR? 34. Why? Diagonals bisect each other. Diagonals bisect each other. What's QS? Why is QS 34? Because now diagonals bisect each other. Well, no. Diagonals are congruent. Yep. QT has to be 17. Why? Diagonals bisect each other. Okay, so I've got 17. I've got 17. 17. What are these? These are 90 degrees. How am I going to find PQ? Pythagorean theorem, because diagonals are perpendicular. Very good. So, 289 plus 289 equals x squared. 578 equals x squared. So PQ is 24 point what? 24? Okay. Alright, what's PRS have to be? 45. What's STR have to be? 90. What's PSR have to be? 90. And QPR? 45. So fun! What would you do with these guys? Set them equal to each other. What would you do with these guys? Set them equal to each other. SW and WU, what would you do? Set them equal to each other. If this is a square, this guy's going to be equal to 45.